I'm really delighted to be here to launch the 17th University of Hertfordshire Formula Student Car. I thought that I would start off by giving those people here that may not be so familiar with the Formula Student competition a bit of background to why the Institution of Mechanical Engineers started this competition 17 years ago. There's a clue in the number of the car. And what people get out of the Formula Student competition. It actually started from pretty modest beginnings with a group of students who saw something going on in America with the Society of Automotive Engineers there, where students at universities in America were building in their academic studies a racing car during a one-year course to design, build and then compete against one another in the Formula SAE competition in the US. And some students from Leeds who went to do postgraduate studies in the States got enthused by this American competition, and they came back to their departmental head in Leeds, a guy called Professor David Croller, and said, we'd really like to have a go at that. Could we get a few UK universities together and see if we can build cars where we could take them to America and compete against the cars that are built over there? So the very first competition, 17 years ago, had 6 cars, including 2 that came over from America to practice. It started from fairly modest beginnings, so just 4 cars from the UK, which were built by students at those initial universities. And Hertfordshire has been involved from the very beginning, and I know that one of the first teams from Leeds had Howard Asher, I think, is in the audience, as one of those first competing students. From those very modest beginnings, the competition has grown to become one of the largest and diverse motorsport events in the world. We now have over 135 cars from 35 countries and over 3,000 students competing each year at Silverstone. It's a really large event, very, very competitively fought, but in a fantastic spirit of cooperation between all of the students and all of the universities. Something that I think a lot of the Formula 1 teams could well learn from. The behaviour of the students is exemplary. Now, who benefits from this really ambitious racing car programme? Well, it's not really about the racing. It's first and foremost an educational programme for students to learn about teamwork, working to a deadline, and pushing the boundaries of technical developments. And I think our students in Formula Student really exhibit all of those 3 characteristics fantastically well. So the first beneficiary are the students. They get a great education in working together to tight deadlines and pushing the boundaries of technical innovation. Ross Brawn, who I'm sure you will all have heard of, he was the technical director at the Ferrari Formula 1 team before he went to Honda and then set up his own racing company, Brawn Racing. And most recently was the technical director at the Mercedes Formula 1 team. He's our patron, so he's got a worldwide reputation. And when we show Ross Brawn around the pits every year, he's always keen to come to Formula Student and meet the students. He's always genuinely impressed by the work that the students produce, the quality of the cars, and the technical innovation that the Formula students exhibit. So it really is a world-class event that even the top of the Formula 1 profession can be impressed by. Every Formula 1 team in the world, I think, has Formula Student alumni, and most of them have University of Hertfordshire alumni. So apart from being a great educational event, it's also a fantastic way of developing careers. Now, it's not just about going into motor racing, although motor racing is very exciting, and I know a lot of the students love to do that. It's actually great training for any discipline in engineering, because all engineers, be they mechanical, electrical, chemical, civil, they all need to learn about working to deadlines, delivering a project in a team, and developing new technologies. So, apart from the students, the next really big beneficiary of the institution's programme are employers. And we know that the employers actively use the Formula Student Competition to recruit their new engineers. If you've got a Formula Student piece of experience in your CV, it automatically puts you ahead of other students in the queue for those hard sought-after jobs. Jaguar Land Rover is one of our main sponsors for the Formula Student Competition, and they use the weekend at Silverstone as their main graduate recruitment event for the year to pick off the best students that they want to come and work in the motor industry. It's not just motor companies, we also get people from Rolls-Royce, we used to have Airbus as one of our main sponsors, BAE Systems. All the major employers are looking to Formula Student to identify the very best students from each year. And then thirdly, the Institution of Mechanical Engineers is using the programme to encourage our future engineers to decide that they want to become members. I joined the institution as a student member when I was 16 and have now worked my way through my career to end up as President-elect. Hopefully, there may be someone in this year's Hertfordshire Formula Student team that follows my example and goes on to become a chartered engineer and gets actively involved in the institution. So there are really three winners in the Formula Student Competition. There are the students themselves who benefit immensely from the experience of taking part. There are the employers that get to pick well-qualified, really well-experienced students who haven't just learned their academic studies at the university, but have learned how to apply those in a practical form that the Formula Student gives them. And the institution wins through creating the next generation of members of our fantastically august institution, which is now larger and stronger than it's ever been in our 130-year history. So, I'm really delighted to be here to unveil the car. I'd like to now invite Dan Hearn, the team leader for this year, to come up and make a short presentation about this year's car and what's going on, and then following that we'll be unveiling this year's latest invention. Thank you very much.